What's up? We are back with some more King of the Hill. We got Season 1, Episode 7, Westie Side Story. So this starts, weird name for Westie Side Story. So this episode starts off with Hank, Bill, Dale, and Boomhauer on their lawnmowers. When they all realize that there's a new neighbor coming into the town. Coming in to live next to them. They think it's this athletic guy, but when they confront the athletic guy, he says that he's just a mover for the real family. The Susan Newfoundland family. Yeah. Then after the intro, Hank introduces himself to the Susan Newfoundland family, and we meet Con, who's literally just Hank spelled backwards. And he's voiced by Toby Huss, the same guy who voices Hank's dad, Con Hill. So, Con introduced himself as Con Susan Newfoundland, or Con. And then Hank with the other guys around, asked him if he's Chinese or Japanese. He just says he's Laotian. But throughout the entire episode, Hank still continues to think this guy is Chinese. I don't know why, but he just does. He just continues to think this guy is Japanese. I don't know why, he just does. So he invites Con over to dinner. And his wife Min, and so Con and Peggy introduces her mom's recipe, which passed down to her mom, which was her mom's mom, which was passed down to her mom's mom, to her mom, to Peggy. Then Peggy hopes it'll be passed down to Bobby, and Bobby's like, okay. It's just so funny. Bobby is not looking forward to that Brown Betty future. So then Min, played by Lauren Tom, who also voices Con Jr. or Connie, talks about how Peggy also talks about how Peggy is, has big feet, and then she makes fun of her big feet, and this makes Peggy mad about how you can't just go into a woman's house and talk about her big feet. You can't just go into a woman's house. And so then Hank says about how he loves her big feet. So Hank and Con get into a fight over how their dog, named Doggy, loves Hank's ladybird. And Hank's ladybird is in heat, so this dog is trying to become pregnant with this dog. And Con's like, yo, Hank, your dog is a redneck. And Hank's like, hey, we may live in Texas, but I'm not a redneck. So Peggy and Luann are driving somewhere to deliver pizza when Min shows up and apologizes for stealing her, for making fun of her feet. Invites her over to dinner, but Hank is like, no, there's no way I'm hanging out with Con. But she's like, hey, me and Min were able to make up. Maybe you and Con will be able to make up, Hank. So first Hank tries to deliver Con some good propane, but Con jokingly says, put it over there. But Min scolds Con for this, so meanwhile with Bobby and Con Jr., Bobby and Con Jr. decide that they want Ladybird and her dog to fall in love. And so the dog runs away, and Bobby asks Con Con Jr. why her name is Con Jr. And she said that her name is Con Jr. because her dad wanted a boy. And what does Bobby say to this? So did his dad. And it's so funny because, like, Bobby, you don't realize that you are a boy. You don't realize that you are a boy and you are what your father wanted. Your father wanted a boy and you are a boy. So you're giving your father what you wanted. It's so funny. It's just funny how Bobby just says, so did his dad. It's so funny. So, yeah. So, So then they try to go after Ladybird to attack Con's fan, to go after the dog, but they fail at this because Ladybird also escapes. So Hank doesn't notice this, and as they're eating burgers, Dale notices. Dale tries to do one of his conspiracy theories, saying, "Hey, maybe they cook dog." But Hank's like, "No, Con doesn't cook dog." And he's like, "Did you have no? Did you have none, Hank? And did you have one, Dale?" And he's like, "Nope, because I don't eat dog." And shows that their doggy's dog collar. So yeah. So also Peggy has a rivalry with Min because Min is now reestablished, is reinventing Peggy's Brown Betty as her own ad with nutmeg and calling it Peggy's Brown Betty. And this upsets Peggy for some odd reason. It just upsets Peggy. So So Hank decides to go over to Con and he sees him and she sees Min calling a dog clan, who he thinks she's calling a dog butcher. Because she has a butcher knife and is cutting. So Hank accidentally cuts all of her flowers and he gets yelled out in the ocean. So what happens is that we get another moment. So then Hank discovers that Ladybird is missing and confronts Con about this. But Con has his bat and is ready to knock out Hank until Bobby and Connie tell them the truth. Hank's like, "Bobby, you did this?" And he's like, "You got me all mad about Con." And then Con says to Con Jr., "Con Jr., you got that neighbor, right? You got that neighbor all mad." You got the crazy neighbor all mad. I have no idea. I think he said mad neighbor or something like that. So then they're like, "Go to your room." And they're like, "You say go to your room? I say go to my room. Go to your room." And then they bond over it. And then the dogs return. And it's a happy ending with Dale questioning this. And that's the end of Westie side story. And yep. This introduces one of the most main characters in all King of the Hill, Con, who continues to be a main character throughout the entire series. Yep, this introduced Con to the series. And yeah, this episode is pretty good. It was funny how Bobby said that his dad wanted a boy too. That's so funny how his dad wanted a boy too. That is just so hilarious. Con saying how her dad wanted a boy and how Bobby says his dad wanted a boy too and he is a boy. On the show. That was so funny. And yeah. Again, another episode where Luann only has one speaking line. Actually, she has two, actually. One where she mentions how beauty school teaches her that no people has to be black or white, but their hair color can be red or orange. That was a random Luann scene. Okay, Luann. Why even go to beauty school? But okay, Luann. And another episode where Dale Not an episode where Dale Van Tank. I'm glad they didn't do it in this episode. Another episode where Dale randomly has a conspiracy theory that is proven false. At least there was no red corn in this episode. At least there was no red corn in this episode. But anyway, yep, that was a pretty good episode. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time when we review Shins of the Father, the first on-screen appearance of everyone's least favorite or my favorite character, Cotton Hill. I know that he's a jerk, but I just love Cotton Hill. I know he's terrible to Hank, but he's great to Bobby. That's why I love Cotton Hill. He's great. But anyway, next episode has the introduction of Cotton Hill. So now that we established Con's role to the series, next we have to establish Cotton's. So watch as I check it out.